the Ann Arbor Human Rights Commission.
Call the meeting to order at 7:02 p.m.
I call the order. Roll call.
All right. Chair Stanball,
Here?
Vice Chair Garver,
Here.
Commissioner Winkler,
Here.
Commissioner Meadows,
Here.
Commissioner Cohen,
Here.
Commissioner Jackson, here. Commissioner Lane, here. Commissioner Bond, Commissioner Knoll, Councilmember Watson, Councilmember Gatti Edwin. We have quorum.
Good, thank you.
Public comment?
Let's come public comment. Well, let's start with the agenda. Can we have a
I move to
motion?
adopt the agenda as
Second.
it is.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Public comment. I do not think we have any public comment.
All right. Minutes.
Approval of the January minutes. Remember that we had to call off the February meeting for reasons of weather.
Ice, yeah.
And so we're back to January meeting. Any comments about the January minutes? I see none. Let's move on.
Oh,
Can
don't we have to adopt them?
We do.
We have to adopt them?
Yeah.
I'll move to
Favor?
adopt. I'll move to-
second.
Yeah.
Wait, who? One clarification. You're making the first motion?
Yep.
Who's making the second?
Keto.
Thank you.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Any opposed? No. We will hold the city council overview on topics that are of special interest and talk about complaints. We'll move back when I should have.
We've had 3 this year, 2 since the first meeting, and they're being handled.
Okay. Three. Okay. 2.5 months, that's about average, right?
More or less. Yeah.
Document update, Linda.
We met with Margaret Radabaugh in the city attorney's office to go over a number of documents that need to be updated, including, so, you know, there's now the not so new ordinance, a fair chance access to housing ordinance, which has the Human Rights Commission as the enforcing body. But if you go and you look in the Muni Code and you go to the list of duties that the Human Rights Commission has, you will see that we are tasked with enforcing the non-discrimination ordinance, but the other ordinance was never added. So this has to go to City Council. It's just a simple amendment. It's adding it to those duties in the Muni Code. That was one document. Another document was a contractor compliance document. So it's what the contractors have to sign, saying that they'll abide by the non-discrimination ordinance. And that hadn't been updated in a long time, and it's kind of inaccurate. So she's working on amending that, and then the non-discrimination ordinance says that contractors are supposed to post a copy of the non-discrimination ordinance, and that gets sent to them with all the documents, including that compliance thing they have to sign when they take a contract from the city. What the city had been sending them was a poster, kind of a synopsis of the non-discrimination ordinance, which was also outdated. It didn't have a number of the new provisions in it or protected categories, so she's working on updating that too. And the last thing is the right to sit poster, which there was a rough copy of it, and we sent in some comments, and the communications department is working on just cleaning that up, but it's pretty much done. So it can go on CTN sometime soon. Right? I think that was it, right?
Well, that was it. I have another another document to just ask you to look at. And that is, and where did I put it? That is the business card that Kennedy was so kind to. Here, just share with somebody. This is the copy of the likely business card. Here's another one. And there is a bag. And my question about this, make sure everybody likes it. I don't think it's quite, I think it looks better as a small card than it does in this big paper. Does it have your name on it?
Oh, what?
This
www?
Yeah, no
You
longer
don't need
necessary.
it. Yeah, you don't need www anymore.
Really?
Right.
Yeah.
Yep.
You could just
So
do
really just-
a2gov.org.
Actually, we could just move that HRC at a2gov.org down, right?
And put them both in the same
Yeah.
place. Well,
That,
there's
you know
a
what,
nice,
that would,
this is how you contact, and this is the website, so
Oh,
maybe it doesn't really matter. But yeah,
So
you
you want
could.
to-
I actually, sorry,
Yeah.
I actually think the HRC should go above this line.
Yeah, because you
Right?
know who the business card
Because usually like
belongs
someone's name would be there.
to. Yeah.
Well, that's, I think, what you've done
oh,
in
so
the
you want
past
the
was
human rights,
write our
the word-
names
Yeah,
on it.
Ann Arbor
word-
Human Rights
The
Commission.
Oh,
one
are
is
you
for us to
guys
put our
writing your
names.
names?
Point of clarification.
Yes, the
Oh,
light.
Kennedy has some more info we don't know.
This is the city's template of the business cards.
Oh, okay.
So
we can't
I
write
didn't,
it.
like, we don't change it or any, this is
Okay.
what the city's template of the business card.
Including the www?
Now, the www, if you guys don't want that on there, we
I
can
don't
take
think
that
it
off.
has to be there.
I think
So
I
we,
have some of
we can't make changes, you don't think?
Like, I mean, if you guys want to take the www off, we can take that off.
I think she means the layout, right?
No, the layout doesn't change. This is the
It
city's
cannot be.
basic.
Because they do want the email address on one side and the phone number on the other. Is that what you're saying?
On the top.
Because I would suggest that really
It is identical.
the,
This and this is what they're
So
talking
you want those removed?
about. No,
No,
not
no.
removed.
No, I mean, you want it at the bottom. The HRC.
I think that the internet address is more significant to most folks than the physical address, because we're not all here, they can't find us here. So I would have wanted the internet address right under Ann Arbor Human Rights Commission, and then have the address, the physical address located.
Somewhere else.
Yeah, somewhere else, because,
Yeah.
you know, we don't want people to come to your office necessarily.
So the commission does have public office hours, so people can come if they want to.
Well, I know, but that's not our primary
No, we
driver.
very
That's not
rarely
our
see people
preference.
that way.
Yeah, because we want them to go to the site and get the form and fill it out if needed.
So this is what I'm gonna add.
Read their rights.
Let me know via email the changes you want on the business card, and I will contact Sam and ask for those changes.
Okay.
All right.
Also,
well-
sorry, commission is spelled wrong.
That's not a good idea. It is spelled
Oh, yes,
wrong.
it
I
is.
didn't catch that. Thank you.
Among other things.
That's not a good
That's important.
Huh?
Two S's.
My goodness.
Yes, two S's.
All right. So Leslie will.
I have the cards,
Oh.
and there is none of this information that's on the back.
The back we're
It's
getting
blank.
to.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. That's the existing one.
Yeah.
Right?
And the web address is at the very bottom.
So it does
And they
kind of,
changed it to take out an S.
Well, it's correct on here.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
correct on there, and nothing on the back. What's on here?
Also,
Oh, it's upside down.
oh yeah,
That's
well,
how
not,
it
that's
was
just
printed.
it doesn't say who the person signing the card is.
that's, yeah, no, because it's different. These are not individual business cards. These are cards for everybody, and what I have been doing is writing my name here and the phone number
And
I want to
commissioner.
call.
But maybe it could say commissioner,
Yes,
right?
Oh, it could say commissioner.
Right.
yes.
Right.
Can we do
Or,
that?
or your role, which is
So, I don't know, but what I've got to ask is if you have any changes or
Yeah,
edits
yeah.
to the card,
Yeah,
send them to
it
Leslie,
Yeah.
Then, yes, then.
and then Leslie will send them to me.
Okay.
The question I have for the back is, this is the Ann Arbor, the city mission statement, and then the QR code, and I want it to say something like, if you
Our.
want to reach the Human Rights
Yeah.
well,
Commission.
what our purpose is.
Yes,
A statement of
No.
our purpose.
Is this on all of them? Is this required now?
I mean, somewhere
So
in
the
addition to
city's
the
mission
city's
statement
purpose,
on the template
statement
is
about the
automatically on
commission.
there.
Well,
It's automatically
What
in
we
there.
do,
we
The
don't
only
have a
thing on
statement.
the back that's, well, besides the
we
mission is
enforce the
mural.
non-discrimination ordinance.
Okay, okay, hold on. So hold on with that.
No,
So,
all right.
so first of all,
Freeze.
Keita brought up an interesting point. We've got the city's emission statement, which we never had before, and it's not bad. We could have that. But Keita is suggesting that we have a mission statement for, or some kind of a descriptive line. I don't know if it's a mission statement.
Well, what's confusing to me is that the QR code seems to refer to this.
Well, that's
the
why
city.
I'm saying you should have
Could the
statement.
could the QR code be on the front? Like
Yeah.
with our, with our website? That would make way more sense.
That would make more sense.
And then we could put the statement there.
Or no statement. I mean,
Well, that we enforce the non-discrimination ordinance.
well, and a lot of other things, right?
But
That's the thing.
that's-
And the fair chance access to housing.
It's true, but, I mean, the mission, well, we could come up with a mission statement. We could, something that encompasses,
Yeah, we could.
and all of it if necessary, but I really think,
Okay. This I think we can settle.
Why don't we work on it?
Why don't you suggest a statement if you want?
or how about if online, I'll just, draft some things, we'll send it around and people can modify.
That's fine.
That
And we'll
sounds
try to
good.
come up with one.
That sounds
Right.
good.
Yep, great.
I
There's
think
no
that's
hurry
fine.
on this, so
No.
that's good. Yes, thank you.
That's right. Thank you.
Okay.
Okay. Is there another document that we haven't talked about? I think that's it.
No, I think that was it.
So, we're welcoming our City Council liaison, Aisha Godzi Edwin, and she is going to talk about the City Council overview of topics of special interest to the HRC.
Yeah.
Overview of topics. I'm trying to think about what was. I mean, there's so much going on, right? I mean, I think that what our meeting last week really got consumed by is just what a dire state our social service organizations are in. We were also voting on the second phase of the MEU, which is municipal electric utility, or whether Ann Arbor would proceed in looking into basically being its own power plant, right? And having its own power system, which, it's not that I'm not supportive of, but I voted against it, and I explained it's because 20% of the food to the county right now is frozen up at food gatherers. CAN has lost its entire AmeriCorps staff. They fired something like 4 or 5 people. It's just, I'm getting contact every day. And as we move into the budget season for City Council, which is going to be over the next few months, I think that this is a time where some organizations are going to need some emergency funding. We can't promise anything, but we should expect that different communities will be coming forward. I also recently met with the executive director of Neutral Zone, which primarily serves youth who are LGBTQ, and she said she's never seen the suicide rate be so high. I was talking to you about this.
Yes.
Leslie.
Yes.
And they're
The
talking
rate or the attempt?
just suicidality.
Okay.
And the needs have become really critical. So thinking about, when you look at organizations like that and they don't have a licensed social worker on staff, well, what can that mean for the city if we're doing work with organizations like them and other partners? Is that something that we can look at getting, not just for them, but for, a few of the organizations? So that, I think, was the most pressing, most relevant kind of human rights and equity issue that we discussed.
Okay. Thanks. So, and that I assume that's, you're still hearing about new things.
We're still hearing about new things.
New
Cuts to our sustainability work. Specifically in the Bryant neighborhood has been pretty hard for those residents. It was on the path, and I think it still may be on the path to be the first low-income carbon neutral neighborhood in the nation.
How far along is that project, the Bryant?
So, they previously did a lot of kind of work around insulation, repairing the roofs, and then it was transitioning them from gas to electric, and then it was solar panels, and now it's gotten to the point of geothermal. We got a federal grant to create geothermal tubes underneath homes to pump its own heat from the earth. And we had just built, I think, 1 or 2 but now that's on a standstill. And Office of Sustainability is, if this isn't confirmed, they're looking at potentially losing big grants. So yeah, it's a hard time. It is a very hard time. But there's hope. because I think in the past, we could be more reliant upon state and federal systems. I mean, somewhat, right? But I think that now that those are collapsing, what we're seeing is local communities really matter. Like municipal government matters, county government, organizations like us matter, nonprofits matter. So I think it's really important to get in touch with these groups on the ground and find out what are they doing and how are they struggling.
Yeah.
And I'm specifically trying to find out what can the city do to help. And if we can't help, what can I do with my county partners? What should I go and help to say on their behalf? And I think that's something that we could all think about doing more.
And please also think about how we can help.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
And what impact this is going to have on us
Yeah.
also.
Yeah. I think as we're hearing more harm from various communities, LGBTQ, undocumented, just thinking about what role we may play on that. I know we've decided not specifically to take a role in facilitating dialogue, but what is, I think, something that we could talk about are, how do I best say this? Educational sessions for immigrants, or just about their rights. If you know what I mean, just for everyone. Educational information, if you know what I'm talking about. Town halls and whatnot.
Yeah.
And we could talk more about that. I don't know if we want to do a work group or something.
Public facing might not be the
Public
best
facing
thing
and
right
everything
now.
else. Yeah, that is true.
We were talking about liaisoning with these groups,
I think that's the best thing.
Yeah.
Yes, I think that is going to be the best thing. we can do.
Yeah, and I think they would be really supported if we did that. They would feel supported.
Okay.
Is there any discussion, or maybe you can't talk about it, but curious about litigation over canceling grants right in the midstream? There's a lot of reliance interests. When you have a grant, there's two parties. They both agree to do their end. And it seems like you can't just withhold millions of dollars on something that's in midstream.
I can talk about one because we're not moving forward with the litigation. And it was we were joining other cities and suing over the cancellation of AmeriCorps. But that is no longer happening, so we are no longer joining that litigation. And then there is others being discussed around other stuff, but I can't share too much information. But we know that there is a collective group of cities that are standing up and saying this isn't okay.
That's good. Okay. Well, it's as problematic as we probably already knew.
Yeah. But you know what? Last night was a good event, Beyond the Bridge.
Yes, it was.
Thank you for
Thank
that.
you for
did
you
a
guys
great job.
for
It was very
coming
good.
and for anyone else who came. And I think that's a good example of just creating conversation, and not making it so political. And I mean, it's not a political. It is not supposed to be my political kind of soapbox or the mayor's. It was really about watching these researchers and their investigation. What are they finding? And then having kind of an honest opinion about what is working, what isn't.
Yes, which is an important thing for us to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the big takeaway was the need for collaboration. And
Yeah.
although there's sort of collaboration here, there's not enough.
There's
I
not
believe.
enough. Yeah.
And without that, it's not going to work.
Nothing's going to
Yeah.
work. Yeah. So
Right.
there are conversations about next steps, and I hope to be part of those. But yeah, it's going to take a lot of different systems working together from the county to the city level.
It was good. It was great turnout, too.
It was really
Yes,
good
it
to
was. There were. We thought there was about 800 people there. Is that what you think?
Yeah, around 800 people.
Pretty impressive. Well, the next thing on our agenda is sort of where we are now, given
Where we are now.
where we are now. Thank you. And we've been looking at Human Rights human rights concerns in the city of Ann Arbor, and assessing needs and trying to figure out what the new situation is. Other people are clearly doing the same thing, and over the last couple months, I know we have been looking at the dislocation of the black community in Ann Arbor in the mid-century and how it's still having an impact. Concerns about LGBTQ+. About homelessness in this country, and about the process of immigrant deportation and how that is affecting our community. So it's time for information gathering and seeing where we are and trying to figure out how the Human Rights Commission can help. In the meantime, we might as well do our quarterly strategic planning check-in. And I sent you all a copy of the things we have, what we said we would do. We had strategic planning just for the people who weren't there, who are new. We had a strategic planning meeting in July. Then we had a follow-up meeting in September where we came up with 7 clear goals about mainly how we're managing the complexity of what we do, not so much about what we do. And I want to go through the 7 and just see where we are. This is the thing that most people who do strategic planning never get to, and we're doing it. Doggone it, so might as well. First thing we agreed to do, and we agreed to do it by now, is to develop a former HRC commissioner orientation development of an orientation program.
That's me.
Yes, it
so,
is you.
yeah, I've gotten a lot done, but, truthfully, I mean, I wrote up a history, so I guess Leslie and I, and we've been here a while.
Yes.
We do have sort of some knowledge to pass on that I think is really important to new members about where the Human Rights Commission has been, because without that, it's really hard to understand where we are now and what has worked and, what we fought for, what we got, what we still need to do. So I did that, and I've, basically been just sort of cutting and pasting a lot of stuff from our website and other sources and putting it into one place. I have a few more sections to add, maybe some, and then I was thinking I could share it with Hannah and really Vanessa and maybe Rebecca, and they can look at it. It's very wordy though, and I think Vanessa, you said you're good at making things pretty. So maybe you can look at it and you'll probably say, oh my God, this is just a lot of headings and a lot of words, and see if you can think of some way. I mean, maybe just a table of contents, which I can do or something.
Okay.
So it's in the share. It's in the share Google thing drive right now, and I've shared it with you and shared it with Brandon, the 2 people on the, but I haven't actually finished, and I will commit to finishing it soon. But it is kind of a work in progress.
Can you share it with people?
Well, let me just finish the main sections, and then, and we talked about the way it's described here. It says digital and print formats. So digital would be what? Just the share?
You could download it.
Download it, I don't know. And print, we can print it out and hopefully make it pretty. So, yeah.
What I'd be most interested in is we've got the 3 new people.
Yeah.
And just if they look over the table of contents and just see, this is what I really want, this is what we need.
I do keep going back to the fact that honestly most of it is on our website right now.
Yeah.
And if any new person coming on really spent a lot of time clicking on all the links and reading it, they would get pretty much everything. They wouldn't get the history, which I think is really crucial.
I think you're right, the history is
the history is really important. And I'll add, there's a project that we're actually working on, and I just had a meeting before coming here where we were talking about that with our students, about how often the history is lost within organizations, especially with coalition building, human rights, social justice, you see, because it changes, right? There's turnover rates, and that history allows for people to have models to lean on and build upon. So I think that's really important to make sure that we have that.
So when I send it to you guys, I would let you know, I'll do it soon. Just send me what you want to know, any questions that you feel aren't answered or it's just too confusing. Just let me know.
Okie doke. Great. What's the timeline that you have for that?
2027? No, within the next few months for sure.
Okay, perfect.
Okay, yeah.
Sounds good.
Okay. I should put it here. Next few months. Next check-in is March, April, May, June?
Yeah, okay.
June.
By then for sure.
Okay.
Yeah. It'll be before then that I get it to you guys and you can give me whatever feedback.
Great. Second thing we said is we wanted monthly complaint handling meetings. Now, we don't have formal meetings. We have sort of informal meetings because complaints are confidential and it's difficult to talk about them. But Judah, how do you feel? What our goal was, I think, was to make make it so that everybody learns from everybody else's experience, and so that we have a way to keep quality control on the kind of services we can provide.
It says beginning October 2025. Is that what we meant?
I think we meant 2024.
I think so.
Okay.
2024. So, yeah, what we've been doing is when there's a complaint that's in process, up to 4 people after one of our meetings want to stick around, we can talk about it. Just talk about the process. It's instructive just to see how everyone is different, and so it's good to just hear this, how it's working. And you, Linda, you handled the most recent one, so
Right.
if you want us to stick around after, if someone wants to hear you describe
Sure.
your
Yeah, we can do it
process.
for, just 5 minutes,
Yeah,
10 minutes.
yes. I think we can cover it pretty quickly.
Yeah.
But I
Yeah.
think it's an interesting
Yeah,
example.
yeah.
Okay.
A lot of the complaints we do get turn out not really to be within our jurisdiction, but there are many ways we can still help people, refer them to city resources, and it often helps. So even if we can't, if it's not quite within our purview. Yeah.
Yep. Thanks.
Yeah.
I think the third thing was on our goal list was an annual complaint handling training.
For later in the
That
year.
would be in the summer.
In the
It
summer.
would, yes, it would be in the summer, which means we've got to start thinking about it now. And maybe this would be a good time for the people who've really never taken a complaint but have heard about it so much. Maybe it would be nice if they could give us an idea of what they need, what they would like to hear in that kind of meeting.
Like right now?
No.
Oh.
No,
okay.
but we'd be open to hearing what
Yeah.
you had, so we know how to structure that kind of meeting.
Yeah.
One of the problems with our complaints is that they are each one is so different from every other one. So, unfortunately, we cannot go, this is the 10 steps and do it all, but they do have things in common.
And we can go back over older ones.
Right.
And
That's true.
And,
Yeah.
that's the best way to do it.
That may be
for
the best way to
example.
do it.
Yeah.
Is to, yeah.
I mean,
Case
without
studies.
giving names or identifying.
Yeah.
Right.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, the other thing about that is our ordinance exceeds state law in terms of the bases in which complainants can file under, as well as the statutory requirements.
Right.
It exceeds state and federal law, and we did that deliberately. And then just in defense of the new persons, they may not know what to ask. So we should have something that at least covers the bases.
Yeah,
Right.
I think that's right.
Now, is it still the case that a new person is paired with an older person? Okay. When given their first complaint?
Yep.
Yeah, it's tricky. It is tricky because generally it's one person who has to make the phone call and one person. But in an ideal world, you'd be checking back and relating whatever information.
Right.
Yeah, unless you're having
and certainly you're
in-person.
entitled to if you're talk to any other commissioner.
Oh,
Right.
no, I just
But yeah,
wanted to
but in
take-
terms of the diet, yes, we try
Yeah.
to pair up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Linda, you're
What
you're
else am I?
in charge of that
What?
training, right?
Oh, well, yeah.
I think
You and
Lynn
Judah?
and I both signed up, so I think we'll put something
Yeah,
together.
we'll do that, for
Yeah.
sure. Would that have to be a public meeting? I mean, I guess if we're all there, it would.
You mean the training
The
meeting?
training, but, yeah. But, yeah, I mean, that's fine. We just won't use names, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
We could do an offsite like we did for the retreat. when
Yeah,
we-
that's
When
right.
we
could do
developed
that.
the,
Yeah.
when we were coming up with the strategic plan
Yeah.
goals.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah, because it's really an internal
Mhm.
training thing, but
yeah.
Community, one of the things that we want to do is to reach out to other groups, other people in Ann Arbor, both so that we get information about what they're doing and find out how we can help, but also for them to let them know that we're here. And we have a fourth goal that says that we really have to, each of us is expected to have at least 2 community human relations events annually that we've gone to. And hopefully, when you go, you also can distribute flyers that describe what the Human Rights Commission does. We have flyers. We haven't expected anybody, we haven't been taking that, but we probably need everybody to say anything that they've done so far, and just be aware that we're expecting you to do that.
It would be good, I think, if anybody knows of anything coming up, just to share it with the group. I mean, I think we could do it like we do Juneteenth, it doesn't have to be, right. I mean, so I would just hope if somebody knows of an event that would make sense for the Human Rights Commission to be represented at, that they could raise it either by email or at a meeting, and we can just get a few people to go.
Yeah,
That would be ideal.
that would be ideal, I agree.
We had one already this year. And
Yes, we plan to do, we at least have one of them.
Oh, do you want to share?
You know,
No time? Okay.
I was just gonna say Pride is coming up, the city Pride.
Which
What
is?
are they going to do?
Pride Festival.
do you know what the date on that?
That would be
It
good.
is August, I believe.
Oh, not till August.
Yeah, it's not till August,
Right.
Okay.
but it might be one that we want to go to no matter what, right?
Yeah.
Let me see if I have a date yet. August 3rd.
August 3rd.
Oh, that was 2024. August 2nd.
Okay.
Where is that, downtown?
It's going to be downtown, yeah.
Yeah, on Main Street. And then
Yeah.
we always go do the
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth.
Juneteenth,
You know, there's
yeah.
also the art fair, I don't know.
Art Fair's a good one.
Yeah, although it's
Have a
so...
booth.
Not really human
it's
rights
just-
related.
It's also attracks people from...
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It's mostly
But you could
other
have a
people.
booth.
True. Yeah.
We
where the-
could. We could
A
talk
booth
about
isn't
it.
a bad idea.
Okay, yeah.
But there's also
That'd be
the,
fun.
near Juneteenth, don't they have an African American festival or something?
At Wheeler Park. We've gone to that. A few years
That
ago.
one we've gone to.
Yeah, I was just thinking at Pride, council members speak, and I don't usually, but I could say quickly, I could mention UFC because it's relevant.
That'd be good.
Yeah. And mention that we take complaints.
And exactly, that we take complaints.
Yeah.
So that might be a good place that we have cards or flyers, someone they're also distributing.
Well, if you have anything, Kennedy has flyers
Okay.
that we can pass out.
So now as goal leads, Brandon and I should keep track of where everyone is.
I don't know what you should keep track of is, it'd be nice if somebody looked at the Observer. Is it the Observer?
The
Yeah.
Observer's a
what?
good
The
place.
Observer?
The Observer.
Uh-huh.
And just
See
look
what's
and see
coming
if there's
up.
anything
Yeah, that's a good
that's
idea.
coming up.
Okay. So you just like us to do a sort of forward scan to see if we
Yeah.
can find anything.
Because we're not always.
Yeah, that's a good
no
idea.
one's doing
And
it.
let's jump on them this year, because next year they're all going to be banned.
Right.
Oh, no.
Too soon, but maybe too late, really.
I mean, it is kind of true. With the EOC going away, we are more needed than ever
I
for
think
certain
that's right.
complaints and,
The EOC is going away, can you tell them?
Well,
Wait,
I mean, it being governed.
executive office of the, right? Executive, EOC.
Well,
full
yeah,
opportunities.
any kind of civil rights
Oh, yeah.
enforcement on
Yeah.
the
Oh,
federal
yeah.
level will be diminished.
Do you think they're gonna start banning city, I mean,
So, yeah.
I didn't think we'd take over Canada either, so.
We might have to expand.
maybe that should be
If
talked
the
about at strategic
word
planning?
woman is being scrubbed,
Just
I
about,
can't
like-
imagine what might remain.
What?
It's one of the
We
words
just
that
heard her do that.
is being scrubbed from all federal literature
Woman?
online. Yes.
Are men being scrubbed also?
No,
No, just women.
Just, well,
no.
Yeah,
Just for information
Yep.
purposes.
I shared it with my class.
To give a sense of the magnitude.
I missed that.
Yeah.
I missed it too.
So
Say yourself
let's
lucky.
see what we have.
Okay. Promotion via CTN. I'm not sure what we're promoting, but Pam?
Well, I've asked each meeting,
Yes, you have.
Yeah, you have. yeah.
two things, that we participate for one, and that we do the 30-second PSA, public service announcement, and then do an interview of us. It's an introduction of us to the community, one that we exist and who we are, our history and what we do. For the most part, they suggested some templates that we could use, where we just kind of plug in the information, and that's more written as opposed to our physical presence. But the other would take a little bit more time, and they were just waiting on us for a date.
Well, it's
I'll
something to
do
say.
it with you. Let's sync our schedules
So
and
I
all.
can reach out to the contact person.
Okay.
And
That would be cool.
I think
Yeah.
her last name is
That'd be great.
Denha, D-E-N-H-A. And we can get that done because it's long overdue, and given what's happening climate-wise throughout the country, it's probably more important that we are out there front and center, because at this point, we're not necessarily being restricted, but our role will probably become more important and critical for those who may lose privileges elsewhere. So, yeah. So you and Keita and Vanessa and I were going to do that. I'll make the call tomorrow.
Okay.
And I have the time since I'm officially retired.
Congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations.
I am so excited about that.
Wow.
But yeah, we really do need to get on this.
Okay.
And maybe there's a reason why we waited until now, but it's more important that we are out there now and let the public know that we not only exist, but we're here to help.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I agree.
I'll
Human
let you
rights
know
are
as soon as I
important.
make contact and,
Yeah.
If we just say that much,
yeah.
human rights are important.
Yeah. And we're here to help.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
And you said that they will scroll our flyers somehow?
So there's a couple of things. There's a running thing along the bottom of the local cable access television stations, where we could be included in that. It's something that loops no matter who's being presented. But my last communication with them is that there's a number of ways that we can do this. I would suggest that we take full advantage of all of it because it doesn't cost us anything but time.
Right.
And then whatever they will allow us to do, it may require additional thought if we want to do more of an interview process or a more informational kind of presentation. But right now, I just really want us to get the word out. So however we can make that happen quickly.
Yeah.
And then while that's ongoing, we'll explore the other options that we have.
Excellent. Yeah, fantastic.
That's really good. Okay. 7, establish documentation process. simple and clear documentation of key HRC information, including projects, responsibility, and knowledge transfer. So and this is something I'm in charge of. I'm thinking,
It's all, you know,
it may just be an index of, with where to go for what.
well, again, a lot of it's just sitting on our website. Some things are not, like the complaint handling procedures, which
Yeah.
are still in draft form,
Yeah.
or more internal type things, I guess. But otherwise, maybe putting what's on the website in another place is not a bad idea. You know, a place like because who knows what will happen to a city website, so we should have it all somewhere else.
Sort of hardbound volume.
Cloud.
Yeah, or
Notebook.
even a physical,
Yeah,
yeah,
physical
that's right.
notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Got,
Yeah.
there are some really secure drives, you know, that you can
you can,
Download
download
copies of,
information
yeah.
into. It's really
Yeah.
helpful
right,
because of the nature of what we've got,
yeah,
names and things.
Yeah.
right. The
Well, I
complaint.
think
You guys should get
this is
one of
more
those
about,
drives.
I think,
With the city.
succession planning, and so people come on board can be up to date on
Oh,
our
just, this
procedures
is
and
just
processes.
the orientation
Yeah,
and materials.
This isn't about
Oh.
specifics. I
Oh,
think.
this isn't the
Well, I'm not
Well, I'm-
database
What do you
that
want?
Kennedy keeps.
I'm
No,
reading this as a
can't.
process to include a step-by-step succession and offboarding to ensure seamless transitions between commissioners. So that's not case-specific.
Oh, there's another one.
Right, no, I thought it was the
Yeah.
database that Kennedy keeps. I'm mistaken, I apologize.
Well, maybe that would be included.
That's number 6.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not saying that shouldn't be included, but I was just
Yeah,
reading.
yeah, no,
I was just
yeah.
reading off of what we wrote down.
I think number 6, did you skip number 6?
I may have skipped them.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that I was talking about, shared information,
Yeah, oh.
HRC informational resource.
Oh,
drive.
this is it.
That's what I was talking about, where you just take
I'm
them.
sorry,
Oh, sorry.
I thought we were talking about
Yeah.
7, I apologize.
I'm sorry, I was right. Sorry. So do we have the shared drive?
Brandon did sort of create a Google Drive, yeah, which we have nothing in it at this point. It's just a question of transfer.
Okay.
I mean, all the documents
Yeah,
exist,
I
they're all
know.
online, so,
That's right.
you know, you can cut and paste links, but I think we need to actually cut and paste the whole documents and put them in, because the links will just go to our site, and if the site disappears, then it's no good. So, I mean, I'm not great with this stuff, but,
Oh, and this is, yes, this was not on Ann Arbor website, if I'm not mistaken.
this
Is it
will be
Google
a
Drive
shared
or something?
Google Drive that we
Yes.
share with whoever.
Okay.
And so then it's a question of actually just transferring it all from, really, the links are on the website. You may have some extra stuff, but I think we just have to cut and paste each document. I don't know how else to do it.
Okay.
I got it.
And Brandon also.
Or just create Word
You know what?
documents of everything, and then, but a lot of them are in
Linda,
PDF form.
I'll help, because
Okay,
I've
all
done a similar transfer
Okay.
with
Okay, so I'll,
statutes.
I don't know who Brandon shared that with. I'll share it with you.
Because we did that,
Because I haven't seen
and it, we started out with a link and switched to just transferring the document.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
To the ID website that was created, so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Whatever you
I've got
can
some
figure out.
practice. Yeah.
Okay, great.
So if that's a Google Drive, does that mean that people can rewrite it?
Yeah. Oh, well, no, you can give people access or not. You can be
Okay.
like
Read or
read-only.
write.
Or you could even put a PDF
And-
in there, which can't be modified.
That's true, okay.
Yeah.
Then I think we've talked about all of them. Good.
Yeah, till June.
So, I will look at grabbing the whole non-discrimination ordinance plus the others. Fair housing.
Yeah, really, everyone, well, we can talk about it. Okay, yeah.
But I think it also should include the class work from the
Students
from social work.
Oh, yes, no, I just
All
meant
that
at the beginning,
knowledge, yeah.
I'm going to hit the ordinance first.
Yeah, annual,
That's all.
annual reports, all that
Right.
stuff,
Mhm.
everything.
Right.
Yeah.
That would be, yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just because
Right,
I am
yeah.
mindful of
Yeah.
what you were saying about everything
Yeah.
being on the website.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Upcoming events, anything that we've already talked about them, I guess. New business, is there any new business? Given,
What about Commissioner Communications?
that's coming, that's the last one.
Oh, sorry.
But
This is the
Vanessa's
time that
not
we're going to
here.
hear from Vanessa, who just left.
Oh,
She'll be right back.
She'll be
Okay,
right
she'll be
back.
right back, okay.
Vanessa's got some interesting stuff to tell
I
us.
know, I was looking.
And-
Bogota and Colombia, that's,
Yeah. No,
that, I did not
she
put
was
that on
very
my bingo
exci-
card
She
for
was
tonight.
excited, and I think we'll all learn, and it's good news, so hey.
Well, that's cool. Looking
And
forward to hearing about
that
it.
will be our meeting.
Are you guys from Skyline? No.
No,
Social
we're
work?
law students, and we're taking a
Oh,
local
nice.
government class, and
Law.
our professor challenged us to come to any public meeting that we would like to.
Oh,
Oh, I'm
really?
so sorry, I've just insulted you. It's just that we usually have high school students.
Yes.
We almost never get college. I thought you looked rather mature. Do you have any questions while we're waiting? I mean,
So you're all commissioner.
Yes.
Is that an appointed position
Yes.
yeah.
by the city council?
City
Yes,
council.
It's
council
by the
has-
mayor and then it's confirmed by council.
Yeah.
But really, anyone can apply to be a board. Or
You too can be. on
You
the
too. I mean, that's what I
Human Rights
did. Like, I moved here and I just applied to be a human rights commissioner, and then eventually ended up running for council. But it was because of my involvement here that even made me interested and it got me connected. So really, anyone. You don't have to be super smart or anything. Anyone can do it.
So what's the class you're
We're
taking?
waiting for you.
Local government law.
Local, so who teaches that?
Professor Kazis? No,
Alrighty.
Okay, Vanessa.
Sorry. That's interesting. But no, I actually have spent the last the days are running into each other. The last 11, 12 days in Colombia. So
Wow.
this year we were able to at U of M go ahead and fund programs, startup programs that would be courses that would go on investigative trips to different countries that U of M hasn't been to before. And one of them was Colombia. And I had been partnering on this course with a professor for the last 4 years, but it was a virtual exchange. Now we were able to actually go down there and visit, and we were able to explore Caquetá, which is on the southern part of Colombia, and we were actually able to go to the rainforest. Yes. And when we were there, we met an environmental justice organization. This part of the rainforest had actually been completely deforested. About 40 years ago. They were able to fight. Yes, they lost some leaders in the process of that, but Colombia has a civil war. They have a conflict there. So they fought to maintain their land and keep their resources and regrow and reforest that part of the forest. So it's actually the entryway to the Amazon and the rainforest.
Wow.
Yes, so the stories were impactful. Our students were able to interview an Amazonian indigenous leader who fought for this as well, and a former cocaine farmer who's now doing sustainable practices and has been able to bring food to the community there. So very powerful.
From cocaine to food?
It's sustainable systems as well.
That's beautiful.
Yes.
That is beautiful.
So that was one part of our trip. We head over to Bogota next, and I know, right? We head over to Bogota, and in Bogota we were able to connect with Universidad de Tateo, which is a private university in Colombia, but they also have a lot of interest in climate change and have a lot of programs. They actually already have an exchange program with Penn State, and we were there to talk to them just more about their interest in environmental justice, as SEAS has one of the first, we have the first environmental justice program in the country. So just there talking more about that, because one thing that I learned in Colombia was that Colombia is technically a lab. The country is a lab because of the biodiversity it has there, because of the sustainable systems that it has there, and the fact that they have been able to be so eco-friendly and climate-friendly. They're a leader for this in Latin America, but they don't have like that formal environmental justice process. So now what we're seeing is like they really want to implement those type of efforts, because Colombia is a place that has a lot of interest from the world because of what it holds there due to climate change and everything that we're going through there and natural resources that it has. So it was very interesting to see this country that has a lot of sustainable practices. And one thing that I learned was that it's called the ciclovia there, like their bicycle lanes, were actually models that New York recently used to implement for their bicycle lanes in Bogota. So very interesting.
What's unique about the bike lanes that makes them different?
So they actually closed down part of like the driving there on certain times to make the bike lanes more accessible and to push more of that there. So you see that being like a priority there. And you really see, like, I did not get a plastic straw once when I was in Colombia. You see this commitment to sustainability. Like when I got frappuccinos, they wouldn't put the plastic cover over it. They would just give it to you. Your whipped cream would be at the top, and you'd get your straw that's compost friendly, right? So there's a real commitment there, and it's not just within like people who have like the traditional educational background. It's rooted in all efforts from grassroots to coalition building to your people who are at the universities or political level. And the youth are really, really fired up about it, but it's not just them. You have your elders that are fired up about it because this is their history and the plants that they grew up with and the nature that they grew up relying on. So it was really beautiful to see and experience. And then we went, because we were there for a while, we went to an alumni's farm there. And he has an avocado farm. It actually used to be a cattle farm, and we all know here it's not sustainable practices. He is a C's alumni, and he went ahead and switched that cattle farm to an avocado farm because he wanted to implement sustainable practices and make it profitable. So it was really interesting to see. And it's in the Andes Mountain, which was really cool. Very, very cool to be there. Right, it was absolutely beautiful. And I'll share pictures with you all. We're still like uploading and everything. Yeah. But our students were able to see all these different facets of Colombia and the way that you can still be sustainable in your practices, right? They were able to see the grassroots coalition building. They were able to see the former cattle farm family that now does sustainable practices, and they're farming with avocado farms. And then they were able to go to the university and experience like this, really like renaissance of climate change within other college students, and feel like that connectedness to them. Although we're from different parts of the globe, we're all connected by wanting to change the world in this way. So it was really impactful, and we were able to create and build a lot of relationships that weren't there in the past. I did a lot of translating for 12 days, so I'm still fresh off the flight, so I'm a little tired. It was a 10-and-a-half-hour flight, but having the opportunity to see this work, this type of like human rights, social justice work in a different country and see the outcomes of it just really made me feel grateful for the spaces that we serve in here. And also, we're going to have a showcase April 17th, and we're opening that up. So if you all would like to be there, it's going to be from 4:30 to 6:30, and our students are going to have a poster board session, but we're also going to have speakers and some visitors that will join us in a hybrid format. So we're really excited to share this with our community because we learn so much in this space. And honestly, this was our first time visiting Columbia, C's first time, but Ross was also there, and the School of Public Policy were also in Columbia, so I was able to actually meet up with the School of Public Policy's teaching team there as well, and we were just able to talk more about why this country is so unique, because there were things that, from the climate change perspective as well, that we were able to like find commonality in. So it was a really, really, really impactful trip, and I felt like, as someone who has a love for environmental justice and really, really feels seen in that space in coalition building, I felt like I got to see people who were able to restore their land. They were able to protect 110 hectares.
Wow.
In the rainforest.
What's a hectare?
That's wonderful.
So it's two. I asked because my running joke the whole time was no soy científica of that type of science, right?
Yeah.
And the students would be like, well, I'd be like, okay, it's 2.5 acres.
Oh, okay.
And in the Andes, we were in. So they were able to create sustainable farming for 300 hectares, and that's very powerful work. I think that we're seeing there of like changing your practices and being able to protect land. So I'm really excited to share pictures with you all, and hope you all can make it to the showcase. It's in the Dana building, and once we have the flyer and like official stuff, I'll share it with you all.
Please.
Thank you. You're welcome home.
It raised a question. Do we have any, do we work in any aspect of environmental social justice?
No.
I don't recall it being.
We don't, but
Just asking.
Human
That's fabulous, because it is an aspect of human rights, and that might be a future
more.
area.
That's right.
I know we have a lot on our plate. I'm not suggesting expansion right now, but it opened my eyes to the fact that, yes, that is a strong component.
Yeah, and that's the
Right, so
way
I wonder-
that it's been seen in the program that was started at U of M, Environmental Justice, that was originated there. Like, any issue of environment is a human rights issue, right?
Sure
because
is.
it impacts all of us. So,
Sure is.
yeah.
Good job.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm excited to see it, and I would love to talk to you about like potential social work
Wonderful.
Okay.
partnerships.
Yeah.
I don't know, as you were talking, I was also thinking about like the human rights aspect. So I'm teaching a class in India in August, by the way, so I'm going to be here in August. And the School of Social Work is taking a group of students to India and to Ghana. And my class, I'm going to concentrate on basically different human rights aspects. Like, we're going to talk about, transgender rights, and like, there's going to be a topic one day on like genital mutilation. I mean, some of it's heavy, but another day, labor and environmental consequences. I don't know. I was just thinking, I'm creating a partnership right now with a class there at one of their colleges, and I was thinking, how cool would it be one day if like Human Rights Commission and the Human Rights Commission there like talk to each other? I don't know.
Fantastic.
I'm just thinking. But I would also love to come to this showcase and learn from what you guys did, because I think it'll be a great way to like, it'll give me, it's a great framework to use for when we go abroad too.
Please make sure we,
Let's connect them.
Let's definitely connect, yeah.
and let's make sure we hear about it.
Okay.
Sure. I know we're interested.
Okay.
Okay, we've got it. Anything else that anybody can think of? Any more commissioner communications? Of anything that's happening that we should see, that you're excited about? Okay.
Judah, did you have something?
Nope, I was going to move to adjourn.
Please do.
Judah's over.
Motion to adjourn.
All in favor? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank you.
Everybody.
Wonderful. Good to see everyone.
Yes.